Howdy, everybody. So today I'm going to talk about, oh, that was my finger. We're going to talk about a ratchet that, actually, you know what? I'm going to place three of these down, face down, and let's take a look at them individually. So what we have here are three different ratchets from three different manufacturers. One of these is a Cobalt. One of them is a Duratech, and one of them is a Quinn that you would find at Harbor Freight. Now, just looking over them, it's amazing to see how mirrored the design is. However, this one has a particularly interesting blue lash on them, and we'll get into that. But as far as head design, they're all three the same. You have one torque screw going through the head, in which would be the ratchet selector, and then they all appear to be push buttons because they have the hole drilled in the center, and then you got the little nub in there. And I'll turn this one so you can see it, and I'll turn this one so you can see it. So let's break these down. And by break these down, I don't have enough hands. I don't have a camera stand. This is just one guy who does a lot of stuff. I'm not fancy. So let's just go ahead and reveal them. But before I do that, let's just take your guesses on which one's which. So we have a Cobalt, a Quinn, and a Duratech. And I want you just on face value, I want you to see what you think they are. This one's got some stamping on it. Yeah. Something Taiwan. So, I'm going to guess this is the Cobalt one. Oh, God. It sure is. Look at that. The Cobalt ratchet. Now, I have no idea how many teeth this is. If I were going to guess, it'd probably be 72. The selector feels good in the hand. You still have the torque screws up here. Now there's the fit and finish really well. These are, when Cobalt first came out and I went and played with them, I said, nah, I'll stick with Husky, because I was a big fan of Husky at the time, just starting out. But I mean, look at the thickness of this head. I mean, I don't have a tape measure handy. Well, we can use this here crescent wrench. It's totally official. We can do that and squeeze it down and pull it off. And yeah, it's too bright to see. So I'm gonna take it off camera and I'm gonna look at it. Oh no, it's not too bright. This crescent wrench rule has been screwed up so much, but I'm gonna guess it's I don't know. Almost an inch, 15/16. That's gonna no, it's not 15/16. Never mind. That was a horrible idea. We're not gonna do that. F that. That's stupid. We're not doing that. But if we put our finger across all three of them, they are very, very, very close to the same. It's not scientific by any means. Yeah, I guess if we want to get scientific without any numbers, this head's about yay thick. Let's turn this one. Surprisingly slimmer, not by much, but just a little bit. And then you got this one, about the same. They're all about the same head thickness. So I bought, what I can tell you about this one, I bought this one, probably about 5 years ago. I needed a at-home ratchet set, and I bought a Cobalt one because I went and I played around a little bit, and Cobalt had come a long way, and I said, you know what, screw it, let's go with the Cobalt. And I bought the Cobalt, and I've been pretty happy with it. And I've bought Cobalt sockets for actual professional use, and they've done just fine, other than the chrome peels away really fast. All in all, Cobalt, not a bad brand if you're just looking to do some stuff around the house. The second brand, which I have come to do some stuff, it's a Duratech. Look at that. Yeah, there's already a video up, possibly, depending on when these uploaded and in which order. If not, there will be another Duratech video or a few more Duratech videos by the end of this. Now, this one says it has 90 teeth. So if we do that, they do sound pretty similar, don't they? Kind of like cracking a safe. In the long run, I think you can hear a big difference. Hang on, let's. So that one was the Duratech. And maybe Cobalt moved to 90 teeth and they did not advertise that on the package, but now that I'm looking at it, this does not feel like a 72 tooth ratchet. But we still have the where the fuck is the branding? Oh, that's right. It's from Harbor Freight. There is no branding. It's a Quinn. I can tell you that much right now. So if we look at the eject buttons, let's look at this one first. It's it's an eject button for a release button for a socket. It feels nice, not bad. And then we have the Duratech. In this one, they are so proud of the fact that it's a 90. And I was curious about that the other night when I was thinking about it. It's like, I don't know if the 90 turns, but the 90 does turn, and that's the button. So looking at the two of them, it would appear that they had cut corners a little bit in the sheave, or the sleeve, whatever the bushing, for their 90 tooth ratchet in comparison to the Cobalt, which definitely has a bigger sleeve or bushing or sheave or whatever you want to call it. I know a sheave's generally used with a pulley, but that's not the point. And then you have the Quinn, which has this big ass fucking chrome button. Booyah, chrome buttons are tight. The selector's pretty loose. In all honesty, in the entire time I've been flicking it, I don't think I've ever got it all the way over there until just now, when I thought, it's pretty smooth. So if you were ratcheting on something and you had something up against here, it would probably switch over. It happens. Most ratchets will do that. The Duratech, same thing. I've had this problem where I'm ratcheting on something. I will say, surprisingly, the Quinn, the selector feels way smoother than the Duratech. The Duratech's a little chunky. Now, if you just do it in one, see that? And I'm not slowing my fingers down. I'm just switching from one to the other. But there are definitely times where you feel a little chunk, and that could be that when you're setting it down, you're in between the tooth on the actual ratchet pawl or the actual ratchet gear, and the pawl's like, oh no, I can't go, and then it moves a little bit, and oh yeah, no, I can go in there. That's the only thing I could think about. But also not bad. And then you have the Cobalt, which is actually, for what it is, buttery smooth. So, talk about price. Now, this one I bought in a set, and that set was about $80, and it came with this and a 1/4 inch and some sockets and yeah, whatever. This one I bought off Amazon, which is the Duratech, and well, you can get this in a set of 3 that go from 1/4 to 1/2 inch for like $30. but it's just the ratchets. No sockets are included. But I'm going to come back to this one because I've actually been using it in the field, and I've got some things to say about it. Some are bad, some are good. And then you got this one, which is the Quinn, which I think was $30 in a set of 1/4 with sockets and a bit driver and some other bullshit like that. Weight's good, but it kind of suffers from the same problem. But considering this is from China, and this one's from China, and this one's from Taiwan. I mean, it kind of speaks loads, but I will say a Taiwanese tool is generally a hell of a lot better than a Chinese tool. So we're going to get into why that is. So bye-bye, Quinn. Actually, you know what? No, come back, Quinn. We're gonna go into this because I want to talk a little bit about the fit and finish on these. So on the Quinn, you can run your hand on the face, and there's nothing grabbing. It's all just flat. It feels well machined. It feels good in the hand. It feels good. The ratchet mechanism feels good. You can swap it back and forth. It's not super chunky. I mean, no one wants to buy a ratchet and they're like, "Oh, click." No one wants that. You want a ratchet that you can easily swap between the two, but it becomes a problem when you're up against something else and something starts rubbing on the selector, and these guys have a pretty decent sized selector there, so that's kind of going to run into clearance problems, I would suppose. And I've mainly used the Quinn and the Cobalt for hobby work, but one of these I have used in the field quite a bit, which is not the Cobalt. I have not used the Cobalt in the field at all, but same thing. I do like their selector a little bit more because you can see it's damn near flush except for this part here. So if you're coming up on a clearance problem, you're not going to have something hit it and move it. I mean, it might move it a little bit, but hopefully the idea is the selector is going to stay in the same place and you're going to be able to ratchet where you go. And then you're going to run into the problem where, oh crap, I can't get the ratchet off because there's a fucking beam here or whatever, or a pipe or something. And, oh no, it's stuck. And then you got to tighten it back up and then pull it off. And then you got to go to a fucking box end or a ratcheting ratchet or whatever. Ratcheting mechanism seems fine. I do like the design of the selector, and it's pretty nice. Now, let's move on to the Duratech, which I have used exclusively in the field. I have not used this for any hobby repair or anything else, and all in all, it's a decent ratchet. I don't have any issues with it. I'm going to talk about those in a minute, in case you saw them. What I will say is their quality control sucks ass. So, I don't know if you can hear that. That right there are the ratcheting face retainer screws. They protrude a little bit. You can catch your finger on them. You can catch your fingernail on them. However, the ratcheting device, very smooth. Not bad. Not bad at all. And if you look at it pretty closely, I mean, it protrudes a little bit, but not as much as the Quinn does. But this one still runs into the problem. If you're up against something, it'll flick you. And it'll either flick you halfway, and you'll end up ratcheting both ways, or you'll go one way, and then all of a sudden you'll finish your stroke on one to loosen it up, and then bam, all of a sudden you're tightening it. And that's kind of the downfall of all ratchets, to be honest with you. It's a clearance thing. That's why box ends still exist. If you could do any project with a ratchet, wrenches wouldn't be needed. So, but all in all, not bad. All three of these, depending on what you're doing, they will do the job. If you're a budding professional, you can't go wrong with either one. That kind of boils it down, but I will say, despite the fact this one has some quality control issues, I do like it quite a lot. Anyway, that's all I've got for you right now, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.